I know that we will probably never record ourselves on video and also never post our setup. However, I have a new mic setup now and it makes me feel like a real podcaster.
You saying that you felt like a fake one before?
I was just using headphones before, but now I have this like mic stand and the mic. Well, it's not really a mic stand, it's a stand for my phone so I can read books in bed.
I think I got you that stand so that you could record on your phone, like your desk, so you could do like plan with me's.
Yes, in theory, I have the materials for Plan With Me's. In praxis, I don't have the
In
courage to do plan.
praxis, in prax, not practice, praxis.
Praxis is another way to say practice.
Is it
Yes, Google it.
praxis? Wait, what? In praxis, prax, prax.
It's in the Oxford Dictionary. Praxis, Praxis, noun, practice as distinguished from theory. So, in theory, I have all of the materials to do Plan With Me's. In praxis, I do not have the courage to do Plan With Me's.
But you have the courage to use fancy words on this podcast.
I don't think it's that fancy of a word. I learned it at uni.
Yeah, but you know me in words. Like, I legit embarrassed myself at a planner event once by asking someone if that was a Hobonichi because I thought that was the word for a Hobonichi.
And you did not get excommunicated from the community that moment.
No, but like, I just I thought Fobonichi was the official word. In my brain, I'd never heard the word Hobonichi. So I was like, oh, is that a Fobonichi? And they were like, no, it's a Hobonichi. And I was like, I did not mean to offend you, madam. I am so sorry. But to be fair, you were using the word Fobonichi. So I thought that was the phrase.
Oh no. Okay, if I'm thinking the timeline correctly, this was early in the time when I'd introduced you to planners and the planner community. And I, at the time, was designing my own inserts and books. And so I had made a Fobonichi, aka I couldn't afford a Hobonichi. So I was making inserts and using pieces of a Muji planner to create a Fobonichi for myself. And I'm pretty sure I called it that in front of you because that at the time is what they were called.
So everything to do with me not knowing words is your fault. Either you're not sharing the knowledge or you're giving me the wrong words and then you're using them on this podcast, embarrassing me. How dare you? Coming here, taking over my podcast with your fancy language and your fantasy. Fantasy?
My fantasy. I am feeling my fantasy. Okay.
Welcome to the UK Planner Podcast. I'm Ash.
And I'm Ari.
This is your unofficial guide to the UK planner scene, with not much knowledge,
But plenty of opinions.
with plenty of special guests.
Or sometimes just the two of us.
Either way,
We hope you enjoy.
hi Ari.
Hello.
How have you been this week?
This week, more functioning than previous weeks.
I was about to say, then how have you been the last, I don't know, few months?
Struggle bussing, but doing my best.
So, for people who are like up to date with their episodes, we've been away for a little while.
Yes, it has been a bit of a rough autumn over here.
Tired, illness. We've just had like one thing after another.
That is why we have been gone for a hot minute, but we are back with hopefully an episode or two before the year ends.
I'd like to at least get this episode out before Christmas. That'd be nice.
Yes.
Let's see if we actually achieve that goal. I mean, the listeners right now will know whether or not we achieved the goal.
Well, either way, if you're coming back from a different episode or if you're just finding us, we are so glad you're here. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much for your patience if you've been waiting for this episode to come out.
Well, I know that we're popular with some people because the Spotify podcast Wrapped came out, didn't it?
It did, which will time mark this episode, so now folks know when we were recording this. The Spotify Wrapped came out, and there were actually a couple people who had us on their frequently played for 24.
Which is insane. Like, that was a dream for me to hit, like, maybe, like, 2 or 3 years into the podcast, but the fact that, like, for some people, like, this might be one of the very few that they listen to, or even better, the people who had, like, a full Wrapped list, and we were still, like, in, like, their top 4. That was amazing.
Yeah, it is wild and wonderful, and we're so grateful for everybody who listens on whatever platform you're on right now. But getting recognized for our voices or being on someone's Spotify Wrapped is just so wild.
Yeah. Well, shall we start our episode properly now?
Sounds good.
All right.
So, speaking of waiting, I am really struggling with the planner itch. When I say planner itch, I mean that tingly feeling in your fingers when you want to start the new planner for next year. We're right in December. There are planners that have started, there are planners that are just kind of starting, as in they have the monthly section, and then there are planners that have not started at all, but the anticipation of starting that new planner or journal is just everywhere.
I am so impatient. Once I know what I'm going to be using for the next year, oh my goodness, even just setting it up isn't enough. I'm like, no, no, I want to use it now. Like, I'm actually a huge fan of the planners where it gives you like a little bit into the next year from your old planner, but also the ones that maybe start a little bit into December. Because, hear me out, even if it's like, let's say you're going from a Hobonichi to another Hobonichi, it's good because you can kind of use that as your, oh, shall I try a different style? And like, even then, what you can do is if you've got, like, let's say, the last couple of weeks of December, you can try that new style in your new planner, but then you can continue the old style in your previous planner. Also, if it then doesn't work, fine. You just don't look at those pages in your new planner. It's great.
See, I'm not sure if I agree with that one because sometimes I feel like it's a little bit of a waste because if I'm doing it twice, then a part of me just is like, oh, well, I might as well just start in the new one or not start the new one yet and just use my old one. In past years, I've just used those pages for swatches or strips of washi just because I have a hard enough time keeping up in one planner sometimes. So keeping up in two for the same setup and the same spread is just not something I have the energy for.
I'll be honest with you, I don't understand how people can do multiple planners. I don't understand how I've done it in the past. Like, I am definitely now a big fan of the one planner. Catch it all in that one thing. Devastating if you lose that planner. But for me, I find myself like writing one thing in one planner and then going, well, I don't know what to write in my work planner. Because let's say I've spent, 9 to 5 at work.
Yeah.
What else am I really going to write that day? Like, my evenings, evenings are just like super boring, but like they're a bit repetitive. So for me, it's like, well, I don't know, speaking about that tiny, small slither of time after work, it can't fill up a whole page or it can't fill up, enough. So for me, I need it all to be one planner.
I get that. I'm very accustomed to having multiple planners, and that's partially because I write so many lists. A lot of the work that I do, personally and professionally, I have to do a lot of lists. So my work planner is very much list focused, meeting focused. That's it. Versus my personal planner is much more decorative. It's more of a creative space. It's kind of scrapbook, junk journal, planner, hybrid, I suppose.
It's funny that you're so scrapbooky now because it's like we are completely flipped how we used to be. I used to be the more scrapbooky person. I would collect anything. And now whenever we go somewhere, you're always running off to like find leaflets and like maps and like anything paper. And then you're like, oh, do you want this? Do you want this? And I go, no, 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 I don't need it. I don't need it. And you'll be like, okay, great. I'll take more of that then. And like when we first met, I was very much like that person, and you were more the person who would kind of keep to the more traditional washi stickers, pen, stamps. And like you still use all of those things, but you kind of have that added element.
I think that really started when I started having daily pages because when we first met, I did not have daily pages whatsoever. I only had weekly setups and then monthly spreads, which to be fair, I don't use my monthly spreads very often, so those kind of end up going in a waste. If I end up doing it, maybe I will post on my Instagram page what I have done with my monthly spreads for the following year because I kind of like what I'm doing, but we'll see if I get around to taking those photos.
Honestly, I used to be so interested in just keeping my planner photo ready. Now I'm really not as into like taking photos of my planners.
To be very honest, and this is no offense to England, I've enjoyed living here, but it's a little hard to take photos here. I'm gonna be honest. Like, granted, Michigan is not always the best weather, but we see a lot more sunlight there than we see in England. So, eh,
We don't have the space to have like a light box or anything, you know?
I suppose we could make the space. I think if you wanted to, you would, like
Yeah.
theories. But I think that the desire to want to start the new planner also makes me almost want to ditch the old planner too soon, and then I feel a little guilty about wasting pages. This year, however, because of the current planner setup that I have, I'm not actively in any dated books right now. So I was ready to hop into my Muji planner really easily.
Yeah, I find that once I've made a decision, it's really hard for me not to just jump ship and go into that planner. I'm really excited to just plan what I want and never back plan. My big thing for 2025, no more back planning. If I've planned, I've planned. If I haven't, I haven't. And that is that.
I mean, my lineup is still quite heavy, but that's because I like to have things in separate books, and I also like to have my personal things separate. I guess I have this theory that one day maybe I'll actually start posting again on my Instagram, and there's certain things that the world doesn't need to see. The Techo that I have, I've used, but I plan on redating pages because I don't want to waste it and it's still in good condition. And the second half of the AVEC, because I did end up using the full first half, the second half I'm going to be redating for this year to do daily pages when I want to, because to be honest, I support everybody who has the ability to do daily every single day. I have realized this year I'm not that girl, and that's okay.
It may be that planner, but you're not that girl.
No. She's a good planner. Like, I still really love Hobonichi Pages. I still really like the feel of writing in it, but maybe I'm boring or maybe I'm just too tired of a person, but I cannot write on an A5 page every single day. But I was very proud of you because you were so adamant about you're only going to have the Salogy for this upcoming year. And we were in stationary heaven, and you still didn't buy another planner while we were out there.
Yes, we were in Japan in October, and a little part of our trip was stationery shopping. And we went to some amazing shops, and one of them did have a sale on Hobonichis. So these already cheap Hobonichis, because they were made in Japan, were a great price. I didn't touch them. I didn't buy them.
To be fair, I only bought a pocket planner, which I had already planned on getting from like Poundland or something here. And I ended up getting it at Daiso, and a monthly planner because the planners that I currently have that I'm going to be redating or reusing for 25 didn't have monthly spreads in them. So I did not buy a Hobonichi, and I've only bought the planners that I specifically had intended on buying.
Hey, no hate here. You buy the planners you want to buy. You can buy a planner per month if that is your dream. There should never be any judgment on what planners people buy, don't buy, what they use, what they don't use, what goes to planner heaven. I don't know. I think the worst thing would be somebody who started posting in January and then they get to like March and it's like, I've fallen out of love with this planner, but I feel like I need to represent this planner for the next like 9 months. No. Ultimately, you should be using what makes you happy.
Absolutely.
you'll just lose the value. Because let's be honest, you spent the money already, and forcing yourself to just use something that makes you miserable, it doesn't bring that money back. But should we move from buying planners to buying everything else planner related?
Sure. Okay, so we're in December, which means we've just had the Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday sales, and now we're in the pre-holiday slash holiday period sale time.
Is there like a post Cyber Monday sale period?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I think a lot of people have like big sales during that whole weekend, so maybe they take a quieter period. So this year, I was really trying to avoid shopping too much during Black Friday, partially because I wanted to save some monies, but also because I have a lot of stuff.
I waited for you to do your big spring clear out. We're now almost hitting the next spring. I still haven't seen that big spring clear out.
Okay, but you like to do clear outs. I like to do sorting of stuff because, like, I don't buy stuff I don't want.
But I think it's not about like not wanting it, but like your style changes or like you get stuff that like maybe you liked some elements of it, but you didn't like the full kit or something like that. Like, are you just saying you're like a super shopper?
I'm not. I'm not just gonna throw something into my cart that I like am not gonna actively use. Um. So yeah, I did. Yeah.
You're a super shopper.
Yeah.
Confessions of a super shopper. She has no regrets. She is analyzing that cart, going, "Will I use it? Will I use it? Yes, 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 yes. Buy." No regrets. And you don't like in 3 years' time go, nah, I'm all right.
No, yesterday I was going through my kits for my Muji planner and I saw some that I bought a couple years ago and I still like them.
Is this a me thing? Am I the only one who goes through my stuff and goes, "Why did I do that to myself? Ah, what is that?"
I mean, I have in the past looked at some things and like, oh, I've outgrown these things, but those are things that have gone into the swaps pile. And most of the time, you don't want them either.
Yeah, but, like, I guess as planner styles change as well, yeah. But, like, that's what I'm talking about, like, I haven't seen you do, like, a big spring clean for, like, 2 years where you've kind of gone through your stuff and made a big pile. Genuinely, I don't understand how you have space every time you have a Black Friday, and, like, these packages are coming in, and I'm just going, "Where are they going?" And then I blink, and you've just, like, amalgamated them into, like, your sticker binders, and I'm like, Houdini, where did they go?"
I am magical. Didn't you know? I think that one of the reasons why I was avoiding Instagram a lot is because I was avoiding shopping. Money is tighter this year with everything that's been going on and just the cost of living in general. So I haven't done as much shopping.
I definitely find that compared to how I was a few years ago, I do rely on the Black Friday sales now, actually, thinking about it, I do, because it's a guaranteed time when I know that at least the majority of that shop will be at least 10% cheaper, and I don't know if, like, shop owners are feeling it as well, where, like, there'll be, like, a low, 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 low Black Friday, big jump, and then people are kind of stocking for the year, you know? I often when, like, for example, if there's, like, a new release and I'm thinking, "Oh, if it's limited edition, that ain't gonna still be there by Black Friday." I do feel kind of the urge then to buy. And there are other sales. There are obviously like the birthday sales and anniversary of the shop. Do you find that when there's like releases of like products and you know it's not gonna last long, if like, it's a limited release?
Yes, and I always feel really tempted. I will say because Coffee Monster Co is my favorite shop, I do tend to order when there is a limited release because those things won't last. They usually
No.
they rarely last more than a couple days at most, and that's only when she's planned for a lot of people. It's partially why I avoid Instagram because if I don't see it, then I don't know what's happening. I made the mistake of opening and I saw a shop and I really, really, really wanted to order it, but I knew that if I didn't like see it,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't have wanted it, you know?
No, I get what you're saying. I think that it's really hard.
Everyone's feeling the cost of living, so I imagine it's very difficult for shops that rely on the income from their shops to have sales too frequently because at the end of the day, as lovely as it is a business. They need to make money.
I mean, I would hope that the groups that do their own kind of like, sales that people are part of, they wouldn't do it too close to Black Friday. Because also people probably aren't buying as much after Black Friday, let's be honest.
Yeah. I don't know, but do shops do Boxing Day sales?
I don't know. I know that like stores like, do Boxing Day sales, but I actually couldn't tell you. I can't remember. Message us on Instagram. Does your shop do a Boxing Day sale?
I don't recall any, but then usually around Boxing Day, I'm not on Instagram that much, so I can't say for certain.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if like you really needed to make space and you wanted to get rid of any like 2024 Christmas stuff, you could do a Boxing Day sale. But otherwise, I don't know. Especially because like a lot of shops, I assume like they print as they have demand. It's not like a furniture shop where they need to clear stock for the new season.
And I'm pretty sure that most shops have already done their 2025 sales of like monthlies and dated things. So I can't imagine that they would be doing it now because let's be honest, the post, even locally, can't promise that you'll get it by January.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Why is it that always this time of the year is like the time when either there's a strike or just post just falls apart? Like I used to know someone who had to like email everyone. This was a few years back because their local sorting machine had broken. So like people just weren't getting their post. It wasn't even a strike. It's just the sorting machines broke in their local post office or sorting office even.
I mean, do you want the business related answer of why the strikes are during this season? Or do you want like my just personal opinion?
Well, I mean, I know it's probably because most people are sending their Christmas cards or buying things online or, it's the busiest time.
Yeah, so it has the strongest impact on people and therefore the best time to strike to get noticed.
Ugh, but don't they know this is Advent season?
That's the point, because it is Advent season.
I understand why these strikes always have to happen, and it's really sad. Like, I remember that after the Royal Mail strikes, like 6,000 jobs were cut. Like, that's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Do you find that often when you buy things in the Black Friday that you get it by the end of the year?
It depends on where it's coming from. There's currently postal strikes in Canada, which is where I did my Black Friday shopping. So I don't know if it will come, but I went in knowing that it probably wouldn't. Like, I have a tendency of ordering my dated stickers or my monthly stickers a year in advance. Like, for 25, I'm going to be using the stickers from 24,
That makes sense.
not the 2024 sticker itself, but like the monthly kits, because then I always know I'll have them by the time the start of the year. So watch me have florals all over my 2025 planner.
That's a smart way of doing it. I didn't order with Josephine Bow this year for Black Friday because I really liked her Christmas postal kit that she did. I was like, oh my goodness. Again, because I know that that shop will usually be at least one event each year. I'll usually save my Jobo orders for then. But I saw it and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't risk it. Like, you know how everybody has like their white whale? My white whale is, and probably mentioned it before, is this like star kit that she did back in like I want to say late 2019, early 2020 that I absolutely fell in love with. I only got one and I thought, oh, I'll be in the shop again. Went and I literally so sad. So now I've learned don't risk it. If you like a kit, get it. Get several. I didn't get several this time saying that. So let's hope I don't fall in love with it too hard.
I think it's also difficult with seasonal things like Christmas kits, holiday kits. They are typically 1 year, and the next year they have a brand new one. So I tend to be a little bit more lenient on that for shops that have very exclusive, this 1 year we have this item, versus shops that have like a Halloween section that gets replenished every year.
You're making me now regret not getting 2 of those kits. What are you doing to me, Ariel?
I didn't say this was a money saving podcast. I don't know where you got that idea. This is the planner community. We are enablers.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do you have any kind of things that you were like, I'm going into this sale period knowing what I'm getting. There is one item, it's my white whale. I'm hoping that there'll be like, backroom stocks of them selling it.
Ooh. This year? Surprisingly, no.
What?
I've told you I was really trying to save money this year, mostly because I spent a lot of my planner budget in Japan. So I really avoided the sales. And there was some beautiful stuff, don't get me wrong. There was some beautiful stuff out. There were some really nice advents that I was looking at, but ultimately I didn't do a lot of shopping this year. And I think I've been really content with what I did end up getting. I did get the Sticky Club advents this year, and I'm really happy with those. I did do a little bit of Black Friday shopping with Coffee Monsters Co. Also, we are not sponsored by Helen's shop. I just love her shop a lot.
Why do you always say that line? We're not sponsored. We're not sponsored. It's just then going to make it really obvious if we ever do get sponsored. So basically, people will just be listening out to, oh, they didn't say they're not sponsored. They didn't say they're not sponsored.
I think I'm living by YouTube and TikTok rules where you're supposed to disclose when you're being sponsored. Don't you worry, folks. If this show ever gets sponsored, I will let you know. I will be transparent about it. And also, I will probably be screaming about it off into the distance. So if you hear an excited scream just way off in the mountains, it's probably me because we got our first sponsor.
Oh, okay. Bets are on. The realistic first sponsor and who's the dream first sponsor? Go on.
I mean, we are the UK Planner podcast, so I feel like it should be something UK based. Although,
Yeah.
Helen, if you ever wanted a sponsor, we'd love to have you on the show, and we would love to have your sponsorship. Um, but realistically, one of my favorite UK based shops is Papershire. So, hey Zenny, if you're listening, she is one of the Patreons that I subscribe to, and I mean, honestly, this is just a shout out to her. If you haven't seen her Patreon before, it's amazing. I love it. She puts out digitals every month. Go check her out. And she's also included some digitals for people who are Patreons for free. So there's multiple tiers. Check it out. The paid one is good though because you get a kit every month.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but hey Zenny, if you're here.
Well, now that we've enjoyed those calls to action, though I do think both Helen and Zenny are doing fine without us trying to muck up their brand identities,
They are absolutely fine. If either of them are listening, I would probably just keel over immediately. And anybody who knows me in real life knows
I love how you go, the people who know me in real life versus what? The people who know you in a fake life? Like the people who know you, like, who are these people who don't know you in real life?
I don't know.
Are you calling our listeners the people who know you in a fake life? How dare?
How very dare you? No, but realistically,
Yeah.
there are people who probably have seen me online or just seen what I've curated on Instagram. And let's be honest with ourselves, to some degree, every Instagram profile is curated because we are all selecting the things we want to post.
Well, in that case, then I'm selecting silence because I have not posted a thing for a while.
I have selected absence.
I have selected hiding.
I am a hermit. This is why we don't post the videos of our recordings because I am under a fuzzy blanket right now.
Yes, if you were here right now, you would see that Ari has made a little den, little planner den. It's very cute.
Oh, it's aesthetic, but it's
Oh.
covered in fluffy blankets and pillows.
Yes, it's gorgeous, it's gorgeous.
And a little fluffy dog.
Yes. We do record in a separate room, we both make our own little planner zones. It's very visual, it's very beautiful.
Hey, you got the Christmas tree in yours.
I do have a Christmas tree in my little planner zoney den thing. We made stickers for Southwest Planner Club. We were gonna, like, hand them out. Like, we weren't gonna put them in the swag bags or anything. We're not that official. And can I just say, we ordered them. Oh, I ordered one tester, and I got the sizing wrong. Thank goodness we are not a shop because they were meant to be, was it A6? And I
Yeah.
ordered them A5. So we got about 5 of these sheets, and they are literally half the size of an A4 paper. And which is quite big, actually, if you think about it. And I love them. I love them so much. One day we will actually get them properly printed, but I am calling it now. The next ones, right? Because I think we should do like a set every year. Should be like, because we have an artist friend who draws them for us. Because I ain't got the patience to build up my skill, I might get them to draw our little mini planner den so people can, stick in pictures of us with our microphone setups in our little planner dens.
Yes, I am sure people are extremely interested in putting stickers of other people into their planner in
Hey,
other
hey, there are people who have kits of people that they definitely don't know that are just drawings of people. So why not pictures of people that they kind of know,
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you were Taylor Swift. Like, I think there's a you and Beyonce are not quite at the same level, my love. Like,
I am not saying but like no, like like for example in like Anna's shop she has pictures of her girls, doesn't she? Like those are people technically. So why can't I be like at that level? Like what cuz our other sheets, the original sheets that we had, they were pictures of you and Ying Ying. So I'm just saying adding to that collection we'll have you in your little planner den. See, you're acting as if I didn't already make the stickers of you.
yes.
I don't know. We'll have a meeting about this. We'll have a meeting about this.
Do I get lunch?
Hey, you always get lunch. I mean, we're not fancy enough to be able to write it off our taxes, but
Wow. Very nice.
do you like jammy Dodgers and a homemade ham and cheese sandwich? That's fancy, right?
Dang, even offices usually provide pizza.
You don't even like pizza.
I don't like pizza.
You had to get Holly to order you a salad.
Okay, in my defense, it's not that I don't like pizza, it's that pizza doesn't like me. My stomach cannot handle pizza. I don't know why. It's not a gluten allergy because I love baguettes. I love fresh warm bread. So it's not a gluten issue. It's pizza.
If you want to win over my wife, get her a warm baguette.
Honestly, anything warm and fresh from Chinatown Bakery, you're already my friend. I would be like, "All right, let's go. What are we doing today?"
Wouldn't that be the dream though? If like you were so like had so many followers in your planner that like companies would like sponsor you and all you had to do was like make a spread using like the packaging of that food.
Oh, that would be amazing. And I already do that. When I go, I reuse the napkins, the little flyers, the tops of my boba cups.
Oh, there you go. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our episode, our returning episode after our absence. Thank you so much, everyone who's listened. We really, really appreciate you giving us the pleasure of your time.
Yes, thank you so much. Whether you're coming back or you're just listening, we're so glad you're here. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to have you in the next episode.
I hope that your stickers go exactly where you place them and your washi is straight. Have a lovely rest of your day or a lovely evening. Have a lovely life. See you in another 6 months. Bye, guys.
Happy holidays, everybody. Bye bye.